and welcome back to another video, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Justina. Welcome to my channel. If you're a returning viewer or listener, welcome back and thank you for joining me today. So here today I'm going to talk about the approaching full moon, the April full moon, the full moon in Libra. And this is a really powerful full moon. It's a very transformative and deep and complex, and I'm actually quite excited to talk about it because there's a lot going on. And usually complex full moons bring major breakthroughs, but also an opportunity for finally a forward momentum for fixing, resolving major issues that perhaps we wouldn't have the courage, motivation to approach otherwise. So here in the first part of this video, I will interpret this full moon, so an overview, and then I will move into the interpretation for each rising sign. You can also watch it for your moon sign or your sun sign if you wish, just to get a bigger picture and a wider perspective upon your life. So here we go. Thank you very much, and let's begin. Hi everyone. So let's dive deep into the full moon in Libra. So first of all, this full moon is happening at 23 degrees of Libra on the 13th of April. This is a cardinal air sign. So if you have any placements at around 23 degrees of Libra, but also the remaining air cardinal signs like Aries, Cancer or Capricorn, then you will be under a greater influence of this full moon. Now, if your birthday falls on the 13th of April, then this coming year will be about major endings, closures, as you prepare for a new chapter in your life to unfold. Now, at the same time, this full moon is connected to the solar eclipse in Libra that took place back in October 2023. Now, the reason for that is because the gestation lunar cycle, which is concerned with long-term development. Every 9 months following a new moon or a solar eclipse, a new story unfolds. So here, the story connected to this full moon is the story that started in October 2023 or around that time in your area of life where Libra is present. All right. So then after 9 months, we had the first quarter moon. And then now we've got a full moon. So major developments from that period in time will now come to light, fruition, closure, breakthrough at the time of this full moon. All right, so let's break this all down for you. So first of all, we will look at the fixed stars. So there are 2 fixed stars circulating around this full moon, or this full moon is circulating around 2 fixed stars, to say it put it in a different perspective. First of all, Spica and Arcturus. So here Spica is located at around 23 degrees of Libra, and it is considered to be one of the most auspicious stars, connected to wealth, connected to fame, honor, artistic talents, while Arcturus is situated around 24 degrees of Libra, and it is connected to inspiration, fame, success through work. Now, this alignment suggests that the full moon may bring opportunities for success, advancements, recognition, especially in creative or professional ventures. Now, Libra is the sign ruled by Venus. It's a cardinal sign, action-oriented, but also an earth sign associated with justice, balance, relationships, laws, harmony, regulations, diplomacy, and moral equilibrium. And as a cardinal sign, Libra initiates action, especially in the realm of negotiations, contracts, decision making as well. And interestingly, with this full moon in Libra, we are seeing a culmination or a completion, a revelation around these themes. Now, a full moon represents illumination, culmination, but also heightened awareness. This is when the moon reaches its peak light, bringing clarity, but also emotional intensity. And now in Libra, ruled by Venus, here the spotlight is on relationships, contracts, and justice. But because the full moon is opposing the sun in Aries, a Mars-ruled sign, there is a natural tension between personal will and collective harmony. And because this full moon is connected to the solar eclipse in Libra from October 2023, something from that time may now reach resolution or perhaps demand a decision. Now, on the same day as this full moon is exact, Venus, the ruler of this full moon, will station direct in Pisces. So this is a very significant event because Venus is exalted in Pisces, and traditionally an exalted planet functions at its highest potential, meaning that Venus expresses her qualities of love, unity, beauty, and grace in their most refined form. And with Venus moving forward at the time of this full moon, after the retrograde phase, we may see clarity in Venusian matters, especially those related to relationships, financial decisions, and values. And since Venus rules Libra, her direct motion amplifies the energy of this full moon. So here, if things have felt unclear in relationships or contracts, this is the moment when we start to see the way forward. Now, at the same time, we also have a Pisces stellium positioned in the third decan involving Mercury, Venus, the North Node, and also Saturn. Now, the third decan of Pisces carries a Martian influence, meaning that this isn't just about Venusian softness, but also this full moon carries themes of struggle, of sacrifice, but also persistence. Mercury in Pisces is traditionally debilitated, and this means that communication can be unclear or at times driven by emotion rather than logic. Pisces, on the other hand, the planet of structure, discipline, and immutable water sign of Pisces. This suggests delayed outcomes, but also karmic lessons or perhaps responsibilities connected to our ideals, objectives, goals, hopes, and wishes. Now, the North Node in Pisces, on the other hand, suggests that whatever is unfolding now, it could feel fated, but it could be also pushing us towards a collective evolution. Now, the stellium in Pisces forms a sextile to Uranus in Taurus and also a trine to Mars in Cancer. Now, Mars in Cancer is in its foe, and this means that anything to do with assertion, conflict resolution, will feel emotionally reactive rather than strategic. And this means that whatever this full moon brings, we might not necessarily handle conflict rationally. Our decisions might be driven by sentiment rather than pure logic. Now, this full moon also activates the Mars and Pluto opposition, which started back in around November, December 2024, and it will reach its peak at the time of the new moon in Taurus on April 27th. So here Mars represents aggression, assertiveness, impulsivity, passion. Pluto represents power, the construction, but also hidden forces at play. And with this opposition, deep transformations are intensifying. And because this aspect is being activated at the time of the Libra full moon on April 13th, themes connected to fairness, balance, harmony will be especially tested against forces of control, dominance, and power. However, by the Taurus new moon happening on April 27th, this opposition will reach its peak. So whatever tension rises around the full moon, it might not fully resolve just yet or instantly. Instead, we are likely to see escalation before resolution. So overall, this is a highly Venusian full moon, but at the same time, it does carry some hidden tension beneath the surface. Libra wants justice, fairness. With Mars and Pluto and the karmic weight of the Pisces stellium in play, we are being stimulated and encouraged to make choices with integrity while also navigating power struggles, conflicts wisely. All right, so let's see what this full moon will mean and bring for you on a deeper level. So here we'll start from the first sign, and that's Aries. Hello Aries, and welcome. So here we've got a full moon happening in your 7th house of relationships, partnerships, unions. So here, if you started a new relationship, contract, partnership, or perhaps if you made a big decision within your relationships connections around October 2023 at the solar eclipse in Aries, then now expect clarity. This could be about a turning point or perhaps a closure. Venus, the ruler of this full moon, will station direct in Pisces in your 12th house, and this means that if you've been dealing with some hidden issues, hidden emotions, hidden secret connections, for example, unresolved feelings, then everything will become much clearer now. Now, the Pisces stellium in your 12th house also suggests that there is a need to let go. It suggests some deep karmic lessons, emotional release, maybe even some major breakthroughs as well. You're letting go of what no longer serves you, especially in regards to your connections, relationships. Now, the Mars and Pluto opposition could also stir up anything to do with your career and home, so a certain degree of tension or perhaps a need for balance. So watch out for any potential power struggles, conflicts that could emerge around this time as well. So overall, with this full moon, some relationships are now evolving while others might come to an end. So try to make sure that you're being true to yourself, while also consider the balance, the healthy balance in your partnership. So thank you very much. Now here, Taurus, welcome. This full moon activates your area of health, work, daily life, daily routines. And here, since this full moon is connected to the solar eclipse from October 2023, any changes that you made back then connected to a new job, new habits, new health routine, for example, there is a shift happening in this area of your life. Perhaps now you're reaching a key moment as well, a turning point. Venus, the ruler of your chart and of this full moon, is in your stationing direct in your area of friendship. So here you might also regain the clarity you may have lacked concerning your connections, friendships in your life. Perhaps some connections, some people may reveal their true intentions at the time of this full moon. And also the stellium in your 11th house of friendships highlights some fated shifts in your long-term goals, networking, or perhaps anything to do with group work and group projects. We've got the Mars and Pluto opposition. This suggests a certain degree of tension with perhaps siblings, travel, or perhaps anything to do with your beliefs. So here, try to pick your battles wisely. So the major takeaway here is perhaps the time has come for you to refine, reevaluate, reassess your habits, your daily life. Perhaps there's a greater need to focus on your well-being. This could be also related to your friend, a network connection that may play an important role in your life at this time or in your next step forward. So thank you very much, Taurus. Now, Geminis, this full moon activates your area of creativity, romance, recognition, creativity, children, self-expression as well. So here, if you started a new project, a new passion, a new hobby around that solar eclipse in Libra, perhaps if you started dating someone, for example, or anything else connected to self-expression, creativity, hobbies, passion, then now during this full moon, you might see a major result, revelation, breakthrough in connection to whatever you initiated back in 2023. Now, Venus, the ruler of this full moon, will station direct on the same day in your 10th house. So this brings clarity to your career direction, to your public life. Perhaps this could be about a recognition, a new professional direction, for example, a greater clarity in terms of where you're heading with your life. Also, the Pisces stellium in your area of your public life direction, career. This suggests that something karmic is happening in your career path, in your life direction. Perhaps maybe something that has been a long-awaited opportunity. We also have Mars and Pluto opposition happening at this time. This signals potential financial tension. For example, a need for a resolution, a greater attention that perhaps is needed in this area of your life, a certain degree of transformation as well. So the main takeaway of this full moon is pay attention to where your energy is going at this time, whether in your relationships, in your career, in a major project you're working on. But at the same time, some financial matters may also require your attention, so don't overlook them. All right, so thank you very much, Geminis. Now, Cancers, welcome. This full moon will activate your area of home, family, emotional foundation as well. So anything to do with your home and family dynamics is here brought to your attention at this time. So if you have made a big move, or perhaps if you went through some family changes or some major shifts in your personal life back in October 2023 or around that time, then this is your moment of clarity in terms of which direction you're heading. Now, at the same time, Venus will station direct in Pisces in your 9th house on the same day, the ruler of this full moon. This brings clarity when it comes to travel, when it comes to legal matters, your life direction, your life purpose. And anything that perhaps was on hold might gain forward momentum as well, connected to personal growth, personal development. The stellium also here in your 9th house in Pisces. This also suggests a change of mindset. Perhaps a change when it comes to your perspective on life, your belief system, your life philosophy. You could be going through some major shifts in this regard. We also have Mars and Pluto oppositions. Here, pay attention because there could be a possible tension or a disagreement. So there is a need to meet halfway. The need to for compromise might be needed at this time as well. So overall, the time of this full moon, home-related matters come to your focus, and you might be also finalizing a big decision about your living situation or perhaps a family related matter. So it's all about staying balanced, especially in your relationships with others, whether family relationships or romantic relationships. So here overall the key is to stay balanced at the time of this full moon. So thank you very much. So Leos, welcome. This full moon activates your area of communication, movement, short distance travel as well, your mindset, anything to do with learning, your community involvement as well. And since this full moon is connected to the solar eclipse in Libra from those final months of 2023, this could be also connected to a major project, contract, perhaps some important conversation, decision that may now reach a decision point. Venus, the ruler of this full moon, will station direct in your 8th house of shared and joint resources, transformation in the sign of Pisces. This brings clarity when it comes to your finances, investments, mortgage, deep emotional connections as well. Now, we also have a Pisces stellium here with Mercury, Venus, the North Node, Saturn as well. This suggests a karmic turning point in the area of debts, in the area of intimacy, transformation, investments. We also have Mars and Pluto opposition. This generally here, pay attention because so much stress could overwhelm your health or well-being. So there is a need for balance. If you feel burnt out or if you're reaching the point of burnout, this is a sign that you need to take a break. You need to redirect your energy to doing something slightly different, to return rejuvenated, to return re-energize. All right, so here overall this full moon could be about a big conversation or a project that is coming to completion. Or perhaps this could be about having to be more strategic in your communication, in your finances as well. All right, so overall here, this full moon could be about a big, major decision that you will be making, a major project coming to an end, or perhaps moving into the next stage, into the next level. So it's all about communication is key at this time, but also communicate as clearly as you can. Thank you very much, Leos. Now, Virgos, welcome. This full moon activates your 2nd house, or your income, finances, self-worth. These are the areas activated at the time of this full moon. Venus, the ruler of this full moon, will station direct in Pisces in your 7th house of relationships, unions. So if you made some financial decisions, or perhaps if you started a new income stream, a new job, for example, around October 2023, then now, during this full moon, you might see results, you might gain clarity perhaps, or perhaps this could be about a necessary course correction, so to speak. So perhaps you might be making some major decision at this time, because this full moon could bring clarity also in your contracts, in your relationships, partnerships, especially if you experience confusion during the retrograde phase of Venus. Now things will start to make more sense, or will start making sense overall. Now the Pisces stellium overall in your 7th house with Venus, Mercury, the North Node, Saturn. This suggests some major karmic shifts in your one-to-one connections, one-to-one relationships. And this could also be that some major connections in your life might deepen while others might dissolve. Now we also have Mars and Pluto opposition. This could bring perhaps creativity or some social tension, especially around group dynamics, romance, or perhaps even your children, if applicable. So overall here of this full moon activating your area of finances, resources, here this could be connected to some financial matters needing your attention at this time, but you might also have to reassess your sense of self-worth. Now at the same time, relationships here of the stellium in the 7th house, especially those long-term, might be reaching a turning point. So thank you very much, Virgos. Now let's have a look at Libras. Libras, welcome. This is a really important full moon for you because it activates your 1st house, the area of the self, your identity, of course, your self-image as well. So this could be like a major turning point. So here, since this full moon is connected to the solar eclipse that took place at the end of 2023 in this area of your life, of course, whatever that you started around that time, whether in your personal life, whether in your relationships, professional life, is now coming to an end. This is about a culmination, change of direction, a breaking point. Now your ruler Venus and the ruler of this full moon will station direct in Pisces in your 6th house. This brings clarity to your work, to your daily life. And if you have felt overwhelmed, especially throughout the month of March during the retrograde season, then here clarity will begin to return. So here the stellium in Pisces at the same time signals some major shifts in the area of your work environment. Perhaps this is a moment when you'll have to prioritize balance and harmony. There could be some important lessons in this regard as well. With Mars and Pluto opposition, this also highlights work and life balance, the necessity for establishing one, especially if you experience struggles in this regard. You might be also pulled or feel pulled between your ambitions and also your personal life, your responsibilities. So overall, this is indeed a defining moment for who you are and what you want. This is a time to prioritize self-care, self-improvement, without letting external pressures to dictate your path. Thank you very much, Libras. Now, Scorpios, welcome. Scorpios, this full moon activates your 12th house, the area of endings, intuition, dreams, solitude, withdrawal, healing as well. So it's a very healing. It's a difficult full moon, but it's because you'll be able to heal some deeply rooted feelings and emotions. So something you've been processing since October 2023, especially in the emotional side of your life. It might now reach its closure. It might bring a major realization as well. Venus, the ruler of this full moon, is going to station direct in your 5th house on the same day. This brings clarity in the area of love, creativity, self-expression, matters also involving your children if applicable. If you've been unsure about the romantic side of your life, or perhaps your parenting style, perhaps any projects, ventures of your own, and now the clarity that perhaps you lacked will return. Also, the stellium in Pisces in the 5th house suggests that you might be dealing with some deep emotional connection that might come back into the surface. So perhaps it could be about some fated creative breakthroughs as well taking place, going on. The Mars and Pluto opposition between your rulers, the modern and the traditional, could potentially bring to light your belief system, your life philosophy. But at the same time, watch out for any conflicts in these areas, especially if you find yourself in some hot-heated debates. So overall, this full moon is a time of release, of renewal, of healing. So try to prioritize letting go of what no longer serves you, but at the same time, trust your intuition, trust your instincts, pay attention to your dreams as well. Thank you very much, Scorpios. Now, Sagittarius, welcome. This full moon activates your area of friendships, groups you belong to, aspirations, long-term goals, plans, hopes. So here, whatever new chapter you started in your area of friendships, groups you belong to, your community involvement, some big projects, or perhaps even if it's connected to joining a new community, a group, setting up your own group, or joining an organization back in October 2023, you may now see a turning point or results of those new beginnings efforts. Now, the Venus, the ruler of this full moon, is going to station direct in Pisces in your 4th house. So this brings clarity in family and home-related matters. And if things have felt uncertain recently throughout March, then here expect more clarity, a forward momentum. Now, we also have a Pisces stellium in your 4th house. Of course, the North Node, Venus, Mercury, and Saturn. This overall brings big shifts in your home environment, but this could also be connected to a possible relocation or deep family healing of some major unhealed issues. We've got also Mars and Pluto opposition happening at this time, and this generally signals some possible financial struggles, so perhaps be mindful of any loans, debts, or any emotional entanglements taking place at this time. So overall, friendships take center stage around this time, but also your future goals. And these are evolving, as well as your home-related matters that will definitely need your attention at this time. So here, balance will be key. Thank you very much, Sagittarius. Now, Capricorns, welcome. This full moon activates your area of career, reputation, life direction. And since this full moon is connected to the October 2023 solar eclipse in Libra, whatever that you started in the area of your career back in October 2023, whether this is connected to a new role, perhaps, or a new job contract, change in direction, for example, will reach an important phase. So those decisions, new beginnings in this area of your life from back October, November 2023 are now reaching a really important phase. Venus, the ruler of this full moon, will station direct in Pisces on the same day in your 3rd house of communication. So this also brings clarity in communication, contracts, sibling relationships as well. And at the same time, any misunderstandings that perhaps took place throughout the month of March will now begin to clear. Now, we also have a Pisces stellium happening in this area of your life. In your 3rd house of communication, so short distance travel, this suggests a karmic turning point in how you express yourself, whether through writing, speaking, or perhaps decision making. Now, the Mars and Pluto opposition, which will reach its peak around the 27th of April, is going to trigger your area of the self and relationships. This could indicate potential relationship dynamic struggles. So here, be mindful of conflicts, of any complexities that may emerge around this time. So overall, during this full moon, career-related matters, your life direction reach a major turning point, but at the same time, your relationships will need clarity, direct communication. So don't let power struggles cloud your judgment. Thank you very much, Capricorns. Now, Aquarius, this full moon will activate your area of the 9th house. So here, foreign travel, expansion, self-growth, self-development, your life philosophy, legal matters. This is all very much here activated at the time of this full moon. If you started a big journey connected to self-development, growth, a new career, for example, or perhaps whether you started an educational course, for example, so whatever that you initiated around that time will now reach its peak. This could be about major breakthroughs, closures. The ruler of this full moon is Venus. Venus will station direct in Pisces in your 2nd house on the same day as this full moon is exact. And this brings clarity to any matters related to your finances, budgeting, income, especially if you have been reevaluating your spendings, your outgoings, your earnings, or anything to do with self-worth during the month of March, especially with the retrograde season. Now, we also have a stellium in Pisces in your 2nd house, so this could also suggest a major turning point in how you value yourself, but also anything to do with your income situation, your resources as well. Now, we have the Mars and Pluto opposition, so watch out for any burnout signs, for any hidden stressors that might be affecting your health, might be affecting your well-being. If you think that enough is enough, then maybe it's time to take a break. So over this major shift, it's happening in your area of beliefs, in your area of long-term goals, vision, life direction as well. So here, this is about prioritizing what is in alignment with your inner self, and watch out for any burnout signals, because that's when your body's telling that enough is enough. It's time for a break. It's time for a rest. So thank you very much, Aquarius. And now let's have a look at Pisces. Pisces, welcome. We've got this full moon activating your area of the 8th house, or the area of intimacy, finances, transformation, shared resources. So here, if you have been working through some emotional or financial issues since October 2023, then now you may experience a major breakthrough, clarity, maybe even closure. Venus, the ruler of this full moon, will station direct in Pisces in your 1st house on the same day. So this gives you clarity about what you want, where you're heading with your life, where you're heading with your goals, desires. So following this full moon, you will feel more aligned with yourself. Especially since we also have a stellium in Pisces happening in your 1st house. So here, that's Venus, Mercury, the North Node, and Saturn. This suggests this major need to reinvent yourself. You are moving away from the old version of yourself and stepping into a new level of confidence, which might not be apparent immediately, but that's the goal here with the North Node in your 1st house. So at the same time, we've got a Mars and Pluto opposition, which will be exact on the 27th of April. So here, this is about paying attention who you work with, who you share your energy with, your time. Because here, watch out for any tension within a social circle, or perhaps when working with others as well. So be mindful of whom you share your energy with, whom you share your time with. So overall here with this full moon, there is this major transformation happening on a deep level, but it's all leading to personal empowerment. So this is about prioritizing self-care. This is about being authentic. This is about also remembering about boundaries. So thank you very much, Pisces, and all the best.